Good evening. The September 21st, 2022 meeting of the West Springfield Planning Board is hereby called to order at 6 p.m. In accordance with MGL Chapter 30A, I must announce that anyone intending to tape the meeting must identify themselves to the clerk and provide his or her name and address for the record. And we inform those present that any document that is to be considered or discussed must be made part of the record of the meeting, and the original or copy must be submitted to the committee before there will be any discussion regarding that document. Documents include photos, plans, drawings, computer printouts and simulation, video presentations and the like, as well as letters and written material. Okay, 6 p.m., Mayor Reichel, zoning ordinance amendment. 300, Table 5.2, Table of Allowed Uses in Business Zoning District, to change the use of convenience market to convenience store, add language requiring convenience stores in the central business district be located a minimum of 500 feet from another convenience store, and add a requirement that the gross floor area of the retail stores in the central business district not to exceed 5,000 feet. I'm assuming, Allison, you're presenting that?
Looks like it, yep. So the notice kind of explained the gist of the actual amendments, but the mayor does have a cover letter that was submitted with the proposal that kind of talks about the reasoning behind this, that I can read it if you would like.
I would assume we all read it. I mean, this has been going on since the mayor started about redoing downtown and making all these changes. I mean, this ain't the first change in the ordinances since he's taken over. I know he wants to revitalize downtown, so I'm assuming this is a step in that direction. You guys got any questions? I would assume Allison could answer most of them before we open it. I mean, I've read it. I've knew about it months ago, so. No? Allison, any town comments?
No comments.
Anybody in the audience? Name and address for the record, and come on up.
Good evening. My name is Richard Corus. Do you need a home address or my property address?
I don't think it matters.
Okay,
Typically, it's home, but just,
Okay,
no one's gonna check, so say whatever you want.
okay. Well, let me introduce myself and then you'll
Yeah.
know my address. I'm the current owner of the Elm Street CVS Plaza. I've owned that property since 1995. When I bought the property, if you were in town, and I'm sure most of you were, you probably were aware it was a vacant A&P supermarket. I took that property and brought in the CVS and some other stores over the years, and I think it's been an asset to the community. I've been a stakeholder in town since 1995 and a taxpayer since that time period. In addition, many of you don't know me, but I think I've been a very good corporate citizen. I'm obviously not in favor of this amendment for a number of reasons, but I think what I've done for the community, maybe not being a citizen, but I think I've been a good corporate citizen. I've allowed the town to take part of my property in order for them to have the school developed. When students and their moms and dads are dropped off at the school previously, I've always allowed them basically to use my parking lot. It's effectively been a community service by allowing that. Other small businesses in the area use my property, particularly the celery stalk and some of the adjacent properties, and I think I've helped, the ability for businesses in the CBD to flourish, and I think I've been a very good citizen. We've gone through a tough couple of years with COVID. I know personally it's affected my property. It's been very difficult to lease. I didn't get government assistance. I had to let tenants pay less rent during COVID. I had no government. I had to discount the rents. I still had to pay my taxes. And I think, limiting business owners and property owners is not the way to go. And, I think you already have enough restrictions. I'm not allowed, for instance, to have drive-throughs or pickup windows on my property. So my leasing abilities, are limited already. I don't need any more limitations. There are plenty of restrictions. I'm also restricted being, next to a school and next to a church. I don't think we need more. I think we might need less, and I think it might help, the neighborhood bring in quality tenants. I tried to lease the property under its current conditions without success. I really want to have quality tenants that are going to be at my property for a long time, that have good credit. I don't need a revolving door. A lot of tenants come and go. Most of my tenants have been in my property, besides CVS, for more than 10 years, and unfortunately, I haven't been able to replace 2 of them at this point. My plan up until this amendment was to come in place was to expand the shopping center by about 3,400 square feet. I was a day away from making the application. We had sent, my attorney, Tom Reedy, sent a notice that we were about to make application, and that's how we found out about this proposed amendment, limiting the property, new retail to 5,000 square feet. My uses would be for a Dollar General, and they would have over 9,000 square feet. The current property, as it exists, has 6,000 square feet, and I was going to be adding another 3,400 square feet to the end where the Concord Sports used to be. And I was going to, make a large investment in the town again, and, this amendment kind of took me by surprise, and it's not something that is going to certainly help my property, and I think others in town, might be affected adversely also. I already have a commitment from Dollar General. I have a lease with them. I'm ready to move forward. Obviously, this puts a bit of a kink in the armor if, by having this. I've been a commercial developer for a long time. I've seen, and have done business not only in West Springfield, obviously, but in other towns. And I think to legislate the commercial marketplace is not the best way to go. I think you folks have enough oversight on your end as a planning and zoning commission to make sure that good development happens in your town. So I just want you to consider my thoughts, my request as a long-term property owner. I think I'm a quality developer. I've developed in and around Springfield, in Connecticut, in New York. It's a family business, and this is one of my pieces of my family assets. So I hope you would consider what I have to say tonight, and I appreciate your time. I did bring a rendering for the record of what the renovations would look like. I can hand it to you.
Yeah, just hand it to them over there.
Just so you know what you're looking at, sure. This corner of the building is not what's there now. That would be the expansion I was talking about.
I'm surprised you were surprised. I mean, we've been working on downtown for years, and the first you've heard of it is a notice for this?
Well, I've never received any notice.
Well, I mean, you're not gonna get a notice unless we're doing something official, but I mean, it's been going on for
I
years.
understand about the convenience stores. I just was not aware, or not living in town. I don't get your local newspapers. You know, I would have thought that stakeholders in town might have gotten, you know, the information beforehand. You know, it would be easy enough to put anybody in this central business district that has properties that would be affected by it with a notice. That's the way other towns, I believe, have done it. You know, I live in Connecticut. I'm up here all the time. I have 4 or 5 properties in the local area. I'm currently developing 2 in another part of Springfield, with some other type tenants, but no, I was taken aback, to be honest.
I'm sorry?
I was taken aback. I was not aware of the restriction that was proposed.
Okay, anything else?
Thank you.
Yeah. Name and address for the
Of course,
record.
yeah. Tom Reedy, attorney with Bacon Wilson out of Amherst, 6 Southeast Street. So I just want to buttress a little bit of what Rich said, because I think he has some good points, but those are business points, obviously, for you to think about. If the board and if the mayor are set on trying to pass something like this, because they think it's what's best for the town, then that's fine. I think what we would ask for is maybe an effective date of, let's say, January 1st, 2023, to allow, and if you take a look at what's in front of you, I mean, I think it is a pretty attractive building. It is looking to revitalize, which is what I heard the board say, look to revitalize this area. And I think, you know, you can accomplish that greater goal of potentially prohibiting other uses in the future from being too large, potentially, if that's the fear, but also allowing what I would appear to me to be a good project with that effective date subsequent to, you know, when town council would vote, which I believe to be the beginning of October. We've had a conversation with the mayor. We had it a few weeks ago. We commended him to the new Dollar General in Granby. He said he was going to go, and frankly, we haven't heard from him since. We've reached out and just to have the conversation of, what do you think? It's not a Dollar Tree, it's not a Family Dollar, it's a little something different. And we just haven't heard. So we've tried to have that dialogue since we found out from Allison that this was on the table. There are other options, and by other options, I mean zoning freezes, which is just really something, frankly, as a practitioner, I don't really like to do. You've got to file a preliminary plan, then you follow it up with a definitive plan. It's effectively a sham plan. The law says it doesn't matter if you're actually going to build it or not. It, frankly, I think wastes your time, Allison's time, Rich's time, my time, just to free zoning for this one project, where I think there's another way, which is that effective date delay. And as I understand it, you've done that on other zoning, maybe solar, maybe medical marijuana. I forget which one the mayor had said, but that's typically the contexts that we see those delays in. So if you are inclined to recommend this to town council to pass, our request would be an amendment to have a later effective date to allow Mr. Corus to apply. I mean, we could apply tomorrow, maybe Friday, but we're ready to apply. And hopefully to be back in front of you for site plan review, to get your approval, to get that before the first of the year, to allow this project to go forward, and then your greater goals for the balance of the CBD zoning district would be accomplished by having the bylaw passed, if that's what you're looking to do. So that would be our request if you are inclined to recommend this to town council. It would be with an amendment. Thanks.
Two comments. I'm speaking for myself. If I'm in favor of something like this, I don't understand why I would put a future date on it. That just allows everybody to do what they gotta do from now until then. So I'm not sure I'm okay with that. And second, we're just a recommending body. So we could recommend it with no date and the council could choose to put a date, or vice versa. We could recommend it with a date and the council could choose not to put a date. Typically, they don't steer from what we suggest, but they can and they have. That's my two comments. Anybody else? Go ahead.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. I mean, this is not new. I mean, the whole point is this is the vision for the center of our town. And this doesn't fit what we have been working towards. And so to put that off just for the sake of getting another tenant in doesn't make sense to me personally. That said, it's a tough call because it kind of goes against the grain of how, I mean, more often than not, I think there is too much red tape, which is a problem. And I don't know if there's been a tougher time to be in business in the brick and mortar field, not only for getting tenants in spaces and maintaining your tax bill that you are and everybody is obligated to do, but also then you have the business piece. I don't know where employees went, but they're not available. So you have that hurdle as well. There's just, the hurdles are seemingly endless, at least for any business. It doesn't matter what it is. So I'm sympathetic. I get it. And you have vacancies, and I would be asking for exactly what you're asking for if I were you. But personally speaking, I mean, I've been looking at this and talking about this for years now, and we have a vision for the center. That's the whole point of this. And this does not fly with what I guess my vision is personally. Just one person here, but the point of extending it would contradict the whole point of what we have been working towards, so.
Anybody else? Nobody? Anything else?
No, I mean, part of this, not unexpected to get this sort of reaction here, but if we are back in front of you for the preliminary and then the definitive plan, part of it is being open and honest with you, because Rich is a business owner here. So when you see us come back, we're gonna say, hey, remember us, we were here, we said, hey, maybe think about this. So it's part of just building that trust as well. So not that we're surprised necessarily by the outcome, we wish it was a different way, but at least we're
We
making.
haven't voted yet, but again, we're pretty
I'm
open.
reading the tea leaves, yeah. I mean, you could always do application by a certain date, but I think it gets to the same place that you're concerned about. If you're gonna do it, let's do it. Why the delay?
Well, and again, to us, we've been working on this.
Yeah.
Jay and I have been together in this capacity for 10 years.
At least.
And we've gone through so many different things, from commercial vehicles on property to signage to, and all this has been part of that. So, from us personally, maybe not all these guys, it's like, oh my God, everything we've done, now all of a sudden, it's like they're trying to stop it, so it's hard.
No, we can appreciate that.
Again, feel for them. I own a business, these guys own businesses, it's not easy right now, and, I wish I had a.
Well, and that's part of, if you don't want, that's why there is that zoning freeze, right? It's kind of for particularly situations like this where you don't have to necessarily step out of line with what you're comfortable with because of how long you've been working on it. And Rich does have a pathway to avail himself of something, then hopefully you will end up liking that project down there, understanding what you're looking for downtown. But I mean, that, at least you don't have to go out on the ledge and get in whatever political or other social hot water or just personal hot water to say, this is what we want. So, no, we appreciate the time, and hopefully we'll see you all again.
Thank you.
Sure.
You want to add anything? You all set?
No, I think so. I just hope you can help me out here.
Again, just remember, we're a recommending board. They typically go with what we do, but they can change whatever we say, so, it's not over tonight, no matter which way we go.
My expansion's only about 3,400 feet, it's not 5.
Thank you. Go ahead.
I guess I'd also like to say to you, my decision on this and the way I've been looking at this for a long time has nothing to do with your project, and I'm trying to keep it that way. which is tough, because I am sympathetic. I get it. And, but at the same time, that is not what my seat up here is designed to do. So,
If you, I don't mind you speaking,
Yeah,
but you gotta,
it's-
town's watching, so you gotta be at the mic.
Look, I've developed in other CBDs, I'm not going to mention particular projects,
Yeah.
with a lot of success. And a few of those projects, had there been a limitation like this, a couple of wonderful projects, not only mine, but others in a very great central business district in Connecticut, you probably can guess if you're thinking hard enough, not even that hard, would not have happened because the limitation would have prevented the economics to work. And I think the more you restrict good commercial development, the harder it is to accomplish what you want to accomplish. I think you have enough ability to make sure the projects that come before you are good without tying sometimes one developer's hand behind his back. And I think there are other ways to do this, and I think you already have the mechanisms to make sure you have good development in your town. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, if nobody's got anything.
motion to close the public hearing?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, closed. Just gotta make a motion. You got the,
All right, so I'll do it in the affirmative, and you vote accordingly. Move to favorably recommend the zoning ordinance amendment to Section 300, Table 5.2, Table of Allowed Uses in Business Zoning Districts to change the use convenient market to convenience store and language requiring convenience stores in the central business district to be located a minimum of 500 feet from another convenience store. And add a requirement that the gross floor area of retail stores in the central business district not exceed 5,000 square feet.
Second.
any discussion? Just for clarification, he moved to favorably approve, so a yes vote would mean it gets recommended to the council, a no vote means it doesn't. Okay, no discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained? All right, thank you for coming, appreciate it. Okay. Approval not required.
Yep, so I have, well, before we do this, I just want to remind the board, and I had forgot at the last meeting myself, that we had talked about me signing the plans on your behalf, because I do have the authorization to do that, just to streamline the review and signature process a bit. So the only one plan tonight, it's an existing large lot on the corner of LaBelle and Frederick Street. It has a house on it. They want to divide the house off and create 2 additional lots with frontage on both LaBelle and Frederick Street. Yes, I'll sign it after you all vote.
I don't even have to sign the thing anymore.
Pretty soon we won't have to vote.
Allison can just vote for us.
I don't know what your contract, I get paid for the signature, I don't know what I'm gonna do now.
Yeah. I don't even need my pen anymore, Lynn. All right, somebody make a motion.
Move to endorse the plan and find that it does not constitute a subdivision because every lot shown on the plan has frontage of at least 75 feet as required in the Residence A2 zoning district. Bless you. Bless you. Bless you.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained. Okay. Minutes.
Move to approve the minutes of September 7th, 2022, Planning Board meeting as prepared.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Approved. Action items? Nothing. New old business? Nothing. We got nothing else?
Nothing, actually, I don't think we announced on camera our new alternate member. Attorney Serbo here will be able to fill in if any of you can't make it. He's limited, unfortunately, to just special permits. So something like tonight, he wouldn't be able to vote on, but he still can participate and be part of the board.
Great.
Excellent, welcome. Move to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Adjourned. Good night, West Springfield.